guys, it is Coach Erin T here in Triathlon, and I'm here to talk to you guys today about gear for beginner triathletes. There is a lot of stuff. So what I have done for you is I have a PDF on my website at bigpistachio.com in the store, downloads. You can find a gear PDF to download that, and then make sure you have everything you need for your race before you get going. But we're going to go over a few things first. Let me just grab my notes. So for beginner, new triathletes, newbies, rookies, the amount of stuff may be a little bit overwhelming. And there is a lot of gear that needs to be had and trained with prior to race day. So we're going to kind of go over all that stuff by swim, by bike, and by run. So before we even get to the race, we're going to get dressed at home in the morning. And yes, what you wear in your swim is what you're going to wear throughout the entire race. So keep that in mind. You want to make sure that you don't have anything that drags a lot in the water that would catch a lot of water or slow you down. So what you want to wear is a tri-kit, and I'll show you that here in just a second. So you want for men and women, a tri-top and a pair of tri-shorts. The reason why we're not going to wear cycling shorts, and I'll show you the difference, is because of the pad thickness on the cycling shorts. Okay, so the triathlon shorts are much thinner pad. It's almost just like a very thin piece of felt or fleece lining that will help, and it doesn't absorb a lot of water. This also is so you can swim in it and so you can run in it without having a big heavy pad soaked with water while you're running and all that. So let me show you the difference between the cycling short and the triathlon short. Okay, once again, the triathlon short is typically going to be a little bit longer in length on the leg, okay? It's going to ride up a little bit higher in the back, so the back of the triathlon short is going to be a little bit higher, and the pad is going to be much, much thicker, okay? So once again, I don't know if you can kind of see how big and puffy that pad is, right? So that is to protect yourself during long rides and training rides. But on race day, we need to go a little bit lighter. So the tri-short, typically, not all, are going to be a little bit shorter in length, men and women, not necessarily, but they do make some longer tri-shorts for men. They're going to be a little bit lighter weight, and the pad in the middle is going to be much, much thinner. This is actually even kind of a thick pad for a triathlon short, so much thinner. So you would wear the triathlon shorts and a tri-top. Now the tri-top, they actually have tri-tops with sleeves now, but you can get a tank top style or one with a zip for men and for women. Some races don't allow men to race without a top on, so please know that you should have a top on. If you're wearing a one-piece kit, a onesie, obviously it's all built in and you won't have to worry about a thing. But this is a tri-top, right? It's a tank style. It's got some pockets in the back, some small pockets, and it's got a lot of venting in it to help get the water through. And then this is a slightly bigger one with a zipper, so easy on and off. Girls, you would just wear your bra tops underneath all of that. Make sure that you're all zipped up before the swim, okay? Another thing you're going to want to put on before you leave the house, if you monitor it, is your heart rate monitor strap. If you have a smart watch, make sure your watch is on, your heart rate monitor strap is on when you get dressed in the morning, and you can use some Glide, okay, some chafing cream underneath that strap so that it doesn't chafe during the day of the race, okay. Another thing that you're going to want in the morning is to make sure, double check, triple check that you have all your gear. So let's start with the swim stuff, okay? So you'll know right away, you'll know hopefully before your race, if your swim is wetsuit legal, speed suit legal, or not legal to wear any of that at all, and you would just be racing in your tri-kit, okay? If the water is very warm, And the USAT rulings, I believe it's 78 degrees or higher, you will not be able to wear a wetsuit. Now, a wetsuit does not keep you dry. A wetsuit keeps you warm and is very buoyant is the word I'm looking for. A wetsuit comes in sleeveless or full sleeve. This is one of my Roka suits. I love Roka. You can order these online. There are a couple shops. You can look around in your area. A lot of triathlon shops will have wetsuits that you can try on. But Roka has a great policy where you order it online by your measurements. If it doesn't fit, you can send it back, no problem. And you can even swim in it and try it out. So the wetsuits for triathlon are very specific. So don't go to a dive shop. All right, dive shops, their wetsuits are much, much thicker, and they would actually be illegal in a triathlon. So these wetsuits are made specifically for swimming. They're much thinner in the arms to almost nothing, thicker through the body and torso and the legs, okay? And then very small openings. Now, wetsuits fit very, very snug. You should not have a lot of space in the wetsuit at all. It should be very tight. When you're trying on wetsuits for the first time, be prepared to break a sweat. Okay, it's tough getting in and out of them, and it should be, all right? They should be very tight. If you don't have a wetsuit legal swim, it is possible you could wear a speed suit. Now, a speed suit is a much lighter material. There we go. Is a much lighter material. This is almost like paper towel thin. Again, this is a Roka speed suit, which is great. Again, you can buy them online. It is very, very thin. So we wear this over your tri-suit, okay? Zips up the back. Now this is extremely snug. It should be so tight that you are 2 dress sizes smaller, okay? Should be very, very snug. It's gonna be up underneath the neck. It's gonna be around the arms. You don't want it to cut into you, but you do want it super, super tight. And the reason why we want this super, super tight is because it's gonna wick away the water and prevent any lines that create drag on your body. So you will actually swim a little bit faster with this, but probably not as fast as you would swim with a wetsuit. So if you have the option to swim with a wetsuit, if it's wetsuit legal and you have a wetsuit, choose the wetsuit. If it's not wetsuit legal and you're allowing speed suits, wear the speed suit. So you take these off after the swim on your way up to transition or in transition. If you can get it halfway off before you get to your bike, that's perfect. Okay, so the other things we're gonna need obviously are goggles. I always take 2 pairs of goggles with me. One for different conditions. So I have a dark pair of goggles, a dark mirrored pair of goggles, and then a lighter smoky pair. So, and these are bigger and smaller, just depends on what I'm feeling like. But I always take 2 pairs of goggles with me. Why do I take 2 pairs of goggles to a race? What if one breaks? I got a backup, okay? Or if your best friend forgets his because he doesn't have my list, you could potentially share your goggles, okay? So make sure your goggles are in good working condition, that you've practiced with them, that you've swam with them multiple times, you know exactly how they fit, and that they seal to your face. Goggles come in all shapes and sizes and price points. With goggles, you want to make sure that they seal to your face very, very easily. Now, I just got out of the pool. You probably can still see my goggle face, but so you want to, when you're trying them on, put them to your eyes, squish them a little bit, and if they stick to your face, that was it. That's all it needed to do. Then they're good. They fit. So then you can add the straps to hold them in a little bit tighter. Okay. The other thing you're going to need for your race is a swim cap. Now, a lot of races do give you swim caps. Almost all races will give you a swim cap when you pick up your packet. So that's great because you'll be in a specific color. But it doesn't hurt to have a backup swim cap in your bag just in case, okay? And also you're going to need one for swim practices. So for training purposes, we wouldn't really swim in a pool in our wetsuit unless you were just trying it out for the first time and you don't have any open water available. But you would definitely swim in your speed suit to see if it feels good and if you're swimming well with that. So other equipment you might need for swim training, all right, leading up to your race, are very good to have. Now, some pools have them already. You might not have to buy your own, but I buy my own. The pool I swim at doesn't have any extra equipment. Paddles, okay, these are the type of paddles I prefer. They're by Finis. They have a thumb hole in it. It's super easy. I just put my thumb in and I've got my paddle. Some paddles have a flat piece of plastic with a band around it that holds your hand in. That works fine too. Paddle work helps develop strength in your pull and also helps you find your catch. Buoys, different shapes and size of buoys. This goes between your legs, at your thighs, or at your knees, or at your calves. This helps develop balance. And then, of course, a kickboard. You want a nice kickboard, okay? Because kick drills are important. If you're skipping your kick drills because we don't kick a lot in triathlon, you're really missing a big point of swim training. So you're going to have all your equipment. What I do is I have mine all in a big bag that I take to the pool every day with me with all my goggles and swim caps and all my stuff. So I keep all my swim gear in a separate place except for race day. So race day I would take out what I need, obviously not a kickboard and buoy, and would put it in my triathlon bag. Okay. Another option that you may want for swimming are fins. Depends on your coach and your plan if you have any swim sets with fins. All right, so that's pretty much the swim portion. Okay. Another thing before the race starts, make sure that you do have on your timing chip for the race. You should be able to pick up your timing chip at packet pickup also, and or before the race starts. Now, a timing chip is a small device that it's electronic, and you go over timing mats, and they usually have a neoprene strap or Velcro or something that you can put this chip on. Okay, so you don't have to provide it yourself. The timing company takes care of all that, and you wear that around your left ankle. The reason why we wear the timing chip is so that you know where your timing points are: into the water, out of the water, into T1, out of T1, on the bike, off the bike, into T2, out of T2, and to the finish line. So you get all those timing points. So you need to wear it on your left leg because that won't interfere with your bike and your chain. Okay, so that's a little bit later. Speaking of bike, we're going into bikes now. So what you want for your first triathlon, or if you're new, is a good working bike. I'm not going to tell you to go get a fancy triathlon bike. You don't have to have that. You can just do a road bike. I have my road bike here. I'll actually be racing on it at my next race in May, the Rookie Tri. I'll be racing on my road bike. And what I'm going to have on my road bike is the bag. You see the bag there underneath the saddle. That has a spare tube or two, spare CO2 that helps put air into the tube, the little, we call it a crack pipe, the little attachment onto the CO2, and then the tools, the tire levers also. So all that will go in that bag. In case I get a flat tire on my race, I can fix my flat tire. The other thing I'll have on my bike are water bottles on the cages, okay? So I can easily grab water, drink while I'm riding. Okay, so there's also two types of cycling shoes. If you have flat pedals and you're wearing tennis shoes on the bike, that's fine for beginning, but soon you're going to want to be able to get clip-in cycling shoes, okay? Now, there are road shoes and there are triathlon shoes. I'm going to show you the difference of those. And there's different types of pedals. If you take a lot of spin classes, you're probably using SPD type pedals. Now, that type of pedal might not be on your bike, so make sure you have the right type of cleat for the bottom of your pedal. Now, I use the Speed Plays on all my bikes, so all the bottoms of my shoes have the appropriate cleats on the bottom. The difference, let me grab my shoes. So I have two pairs of shoes. Actually, I have about four. I have my triathlon shoes, and I have my road shoes, okay? Now, if I were just going on a bike ride on my road bike, I would wear my road shoes. If I'm racing on any bike, triathlon, I'm going to wear my triathlon shoes. Now, they're both set up exactly the same, so it won't matter. The difference between these shoes, can you see what the difference is? Okay, The road shoe has 3 straps to get in and out and is very snug, okay? This is very hard to get in and out of very quickly for triathlon. And remember, transition is still part of your overall time. Where triathlon shoes typically have one big strap and open up very wide. This strap down here is set. I never open or close it after that. And it typically has a big loop on the back. So if you're a little bit more advanced and you're keeping your shoes on the back, you can easily grab the shoe to put your foot in or put a rubber band through this to help keep it to the bike, okay? We'll go over all that stuff when we do transition training later. But these shoes also have big water vents so that if you're wet if you're sweating a lot, it'll drain. Also, if you're pouring water over your head, it runs down your feet into your legs, it'll come right out, okay? So, triathlon cycling shoes are important if you can get them. The other difference that we have are 2 different types of helmets, okay? I have my road helmet. This is an older laser helmet. And then I have my Giro Air Attack. Now this is an aero helmet. Also what you might see are aero helmets that are long and pointy, kind of like alien heads. Maybe you've seen those that are kind of long and pointy. I really don't recommend those at all for beginners. The tail catches air and it can be a little harder to maneuver. So I like this Air Attack because it's still very aerodynamic, but it doesn't have that big tail. It fits just like a regular helmet, and it doesn't cover my ears. So those other helmets with the long tails cover your ears. You can't hear anybody coming up next to you, or you can't hear cars. So very important. The other thing that's really cool with this helmet, this Euro helmet, is the shield. So when I'm putting on the helmet, getting into transition, I leave the shield up, and as soon as I get on my bike and get going, then I flip it under. And then I don't have to wear glasses on the bike portion of the race, okay? You can, but you've got double, then you don't really need it. So this keeps the air off your head, makes you look a lot like RoboCop, but there's that, and then of course I have my sticker on it. But you'll have a bib number, that sticker that you'll put on the front. Remember to always take your stickers off the race. There's nothing more annoying than seeing people on daily bike rides with all their bike numbers still on their bikes and helmets. You just take them off. You don't need them anymore. Okay. So the 2 helmet types. You need a helmet, road helmet or an aero helmet. If you're new to triathlon, just go with a road helmet. Okay. Super easy. It's going to be a little less expensive. That's what you're going to need. A bike, water, helmet, and cycling shoes. That's all you're going to need. Remember, you're wearing your tri-kit when you get out of the water, right? You're taking off your goggles, you're taking off your swim cap, you're putting them down on the ground. We're grabbing our helmet, we're putting that on, our sunglasses if we need it. We're putting our shoes on either here or on the bike. We're taking the bike and we're going out. We're doing our bike ride, okay? So when we come back, we're going to get ready for the run. Super easy, right? We don't have a lot of equipment for this, right? Not a lot of equipment. So what you're going to have are your running shoes. Hopefully you have a good pair of running shoes, right? So you come out of your cycling shoes, you go into your running shoes. Now if it's a short race, I do recommend no socks. No socks. You don't need socks for 3 miles. You don't need socks for 6 miles, but practice without socks before the race, okay? So you gotta practice everything first. I typically wear socks, half iron or greater, okay? I'm gonna give you the most inexpensive tip that will make you the most time up in transition. This is my secret, okay? This is my secret. This little dude will save you more time in transition than anything else. Boop, boop, boop. This is a lace lock. You don't need fancy elastic laces. All you need is this guy, 1 on each shoe, okay? It's about 50 cents worth, maybe $1. You can buy a whole bundle of them online, right? So they're great. You never have to tie your laces again. You can see on my shoes here that I slide them through, slide the laces through, right? and then I tie off a knot there, and then I connect it to the front part of the shoe, or I cut it. So in some shoelaces, I'll just cut it off because I don't need it anymore, and if I know I'm not going to donate the shoes, then it's okay to kill the shoelaces. But you're going to open up your shoe in transition, you slide your foot in, you grab the lace, you slide that down, boom, you're done. Done. Your foot never comes out. That's perfect lace locks. It is the least expensive thing you will buy in triathlon, I guarantee it, and worth every penny 10 times over, because you can just buy like 5-6 pairs and then just keep moving them from shoe to shoe to shoe. It's gonna be the fastest thing ever. $15 elastic laces you don't need. The other thing you might need on your run is a hat or a visor. I like the visor. That works for me. And maybe some sunglasses if you want that. If you can fit them both in there, make sure you practice with that too. I like the visor. I don't need the glasses. It still allows my head to breathe, but it shades my eyes on the run. Okay? So, another thing you're going to need, so you have to wear your bib number on the run. You don't have to, on smaller races and smaller races, wear your bib on the swim. Don't do that. Or on the bike. You don't have to. But you do on the run. So what I recommend, instead of standing there in transition and pinning it to your shirt or having to have it flap around on the bike because you put it on your shirt at some point, you get a race belt. Okay? This race belt is pretty cool actually because it's got magnets. Boop! You just get it close to your body and it'll lock in. The other thing it has is little loops for nutrition, for gels, things like that for longer races. And then again, see, these guys got fancy too. Little lace locks. So you're gonna take these off, slide your bib on, slide that back off. When you're in transition for the run, you're just gonna grab it, put your hat on, put your visor on, grab, and can you see that? And then you're just gonna put this around your waist, boom, done. And then you're running and your bib is right in front and it's not gonna move. So, race belt, really important. This one's called a T1 Pro. It really should be called a T2. I did talk to the company about that. But there are other types. I think this one's about 20 bucks. I think there's some that are about 10 bucks that are have a different type of buckle, a less expensive buckle, and then just have like loops and things like that. So this is also one of the cheapest things you can buy for triathlon that will save you a ton of time and save you from putting holes in all of your clothes, from having to safety pin your bib number. Even if you're just a runner, you just do 5Ks, 10Ks, or you just do the occasional bike ride where you have to wear a bib, these are great. You never have to put holes in your clothes again. All right? So then the last thing you're going to want to do is put everything in a giant bag. All right? For your transition, you can have a transition mat or a towel. I have both, and we'll lay that out next week. We'll show you how that's set up. But you need a giant bag. This one's from Speedo. They have specific triathlon type bags, but things you're looking for in a triathlon bag are a space for shoes, because you're going to be carrying, you're probably wearing flip-flops to the race. You're going to have your cycling shoes and your running shoes in here. If it's a wetsuit legal race, you want your wetsuit in here. You want clean clothes for after the race. And you want your water bottles and all your nutrition. You're also going to want to take a phone with you. You don't race with the phone. Keep the phone with your bag so that you can text all your family and tell them you won, and have them cheer for you, get some good pictures, enjoy the race afterwards. Some other things that, whoop, let me grab these. Some other things that you might want that are all on the list are you might want to take a headlamp in the morning if you have one, if it's super dark. Most transitions open before 6 a.m. So it's always really, really dark. So I recommend wearing like a camping headlight. You can get those at REI or any sports store. You make sure you don't forget your hydration. You want to have hydration before the race, so you're walking around with a bottle of fluids. Hydration on your bike. If you run with a handheld carrier, make sure you have that ready to go also. Towel, a small towel to dry off with, maybe some dry clothes. It's not necessary. And the one thing I always have in my bag, is a roll of duct tape. The cool thing now is they come in great colors. So you can get a roll of colorful duct tape, thin or thick. And what do you need duct tape for? Anything that might happen. It is just there. Stick a small roll of duct tape in your bag. And if you need it, you'll have it. If you don't have it and you need it, you're going to be really bummed. So I had a great coach about 15 years ago tell me, always have duct tape with you. And by golly, I do. I remember that, and it will repair a flat if I need to. It'll tape up a hole in my water bottle that I got at one race. It works for everything. Make sure that you come to a race with a plan. This is what you want to do. This is how you want to race. This is how you want to feel. Enjoy the day. Enjoy every moment. Have a plan. Be sure to work the plan, and then be prepared to throw that plan out the window in case things go haywire. But enjoy your race. Check out the download that I have online. It's at bigpistachio.com in the store. Okay, so under the tab store, scroll down and you'll find some free downloads. And if you have any questions, just text me, put some questions on the live feed, and I hope you have a great first race. Next week we're talking about transitions, how to set up, and the best way to get in and out of transition super fast. So I hope I see you next week, and have a great day, guys.